Hi, this is Ron from POCculture.com. Genevieve, how are you?
Hi, Ron. Nice to see you.
Likewise, thanks so much for chatting with me. I really love seeing Mon Mothma on screen. Anytime we get a chance to, she has such a regal air about her. And for you, now that you've had a chance to play the character several times over the years, how has your own relationship with the character evolved since you first played her?
When I first played her, um, I was really stepping into the shoes of Caroline Blakeston, who played her originally in George Lucas's Return of the Jedi. So it was an honor for me to get to step into her shoes, and I hoped to um, be truthful to her original or how she originated the character. I've had now the opportunity to play her subsequent times. So, and I've learned so much about her. And in Andor, we get to really discover who she is, not just as that leader, but as a woman. And we get to discover a dangerous world that she has to navigate. And we get to discover what she has to risk in order to become that leader that we all love.
And I really think that's what's super exciting about Mon Mothma and Andor. To this point, I feel like Mon Mothma has kind of a mythical quality. She appears and says important things, and everybody has just has so much respect for the character. We don't get to learn too much. So, what was like most exciting for you to explore about the character in Andor?
I really appreciated and continue to appreciate the opportunity to genuinely explore character, not just to have her as that leader or that pillar, if you will, but who is she behind the scenes? What does she have to risk? What is she like at home? What is her home life like? The idea that all of a sudden Mon Mothma has a husband and a home life blew my mind. And also, Tony was interested in discovering or writing about the reality of a woman who had been a senator since the age of 16. What are what are the what is the construct of the systems of her life that she has had to live within if she's been a member of the Imperial Senate since the age of 16? What is the culture of her home life? What is the culture of her planet, her original planet's life? Like Chandrila, she was the senator for representing the planet of Chandrila. That's who she is. What are the Chandrilan customs where their ambassador to the empire was a senator and married at the age of 16? What are the personal fights that she's had to have along the way? And how does a woman who has grown up with those cultural constructs got the passion and got as much of a passion for democracy and furthermore rebellion within that? Who is that?
Absolutely. Who is that?
Who is that?
I've been dying to know, and I think fans have been dying to know all of these elements and themes that you've just mentioned. I think are so exciting. I'm curious, talking with Tony or any of the other creatives involved with this series, and just yourself, how much have they told you? In terms of Mon Mothma's backstory, Chandrila, how much information have they revealed prior to this series, and as you progress through these 12 episodes?
We don't talk much about that. We talk about the woman and what the customs of her life would be, or we imagine that because we don't really know. So Tony imagines it and we talk about it with each other. We think, what do we think the customs of that planet would be? How does the reality of who she is reflect what that history must be? And so we fill that in, and it's not so much on the nose in the writing. You get to see the woman living it. That's what's so exciting. He doesn't tell you anything. Tony lets you discover it all.
And that's really exciting. Without delving into spoilers, what we did get to see, I really appreciated like the vulnerability and the nuances that you showed in the scenes that we've seen so far. I'm curious, just for your own performance and your process, were there any real or fictional world leaders or other kind of characters that you drew from to inspire your performance?
It wasn't so specific, but I did look at women from around the world in leadership positions, and women who were having to navigate not just leadership, but also families. Women who were living, not just political, but women who were had a voice for trying to effect change within a system. Sometimes they were religious systems, and believing that they can and they could make a change from within. Also women, political figures from all different spheres, from many different parties, who are perhaps a lonely voice against a very strong voice, a lonely voice in opposition. There were many in the UK, in America, and many others in Europe, and in the Antipodes. I actually looked at women from all around the world, and how women advocate for their beliefs within a structural system.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for your very thoughtful answers. I think exploring your character is one of the most exciting things about this series, and we look forward to learning more about Mon Mothma. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me.